The media made a lot of noise about the male loneliness epidemic, and I have my doubts about that. I think it's a way to get men back into dating, back into the workforce, to kind of shame men back into society on their terms. We got a brother here that says something similar. Let's check this out. But before, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel.
So I want to talk about this female loneliness epidemic we got going on, right? It's bad. See, they've been trying to say it was the man trying to use reverse psychology, but it was never the men. It was always the women. Now you can try to prove me wrong if you want to, but before you do it, I'm gonna tell you you're going to fail epically. You're gonna fail big time. The reason I say it's a female loneliness epidemic and not a male loneliness epidemic is because look at what you see on social media, right? You see all these women coming to the internet talking about how men don't approach them. You don't see men doing that. That is women. Then you got all these women complaining about the passport bros, talking about they gotta go overseas to find women. That's because they lonely and bitter. You don't see men complaining about women going overseas finding men because men are not the lonely ones. And this is the nail in the coffin, right? To prove that we have a female loneliness epidemic, this is the nail in the coffin. How many women do you see sharing men? Knowingly sharing men. How many women do you see sharing men? How many women do you see sharing the same baby daddy?
But we saw that with the T app. People picking the very same type of men they get on social media and say are absolutely phenomenally awful, but that quality of man is very popular. As to traveling overseas, yeah, I think women have a harder time traveling overseas because you're going into another society, you go into another society and they have their own strictures and own customs and how they like to do dating. Sometimes we take our own ideals with us. Right? I've traveled with people. We'll be in the heart of Paris and they're upset that no one is speaking. Of course not. This isn't their. This isn't our town. This is not how it works. There's one time I was in Bruges, Belgium. Little shop. Guys in there screaming that no one speaks English. They spoke like four languages before they spoke English. But the point of that is, yeah, women have a harder time overseas, especially when men are going overseas and you can lead with your wallet a lot more. And I think men are more universally accepted in these places. Again, especially if you're coming and offering economic aid, and we'll hear that the retort against that is like they're just using you for your money. Well, what do we see online a lot here? He's got to pay he's got to buy my groceries to talk to me in the store. Got to pay for my gas. He's got to pay 100% of bills. So if men are being used for their money, they're just going to say, or whatever. I'm just going to go wherever. I'm going to go where my money is farthest and where I can get the better bang for my buck. On that front, cool. Sharing men in terms of like polygamy, I think I've seen a lot more of that being on the rise. I think that really depends on your own cup of tea. Um, I really haven't delved into that, and maybe a worthy topic. You guys let me know.
One man can have like 5 women pregnant, all in the same area. What you mean to tell me we have a male loneliness epidemic? No, we have a female loneliness epidemic. And that proves it. Look at how many women putting up with bums. Here it is, you have a man laying in your house with no job, no car, no source of income. But yet, he is laying in your house, getting your goodies, shooting the club up, then leaving your house, going to another woman's house doing the same thing.
So one of the earliest videos is like about Pookies and Ray Rays, and I think um, we see this a lot. Man, we see this, and we also there's a point of jealousy in it when we're younger. Like, how come he's doing less, that he's getting the most? And there's a myriad of reasons that go into that. But the point of what he's saying, and something I've touched on before, when you are dealing with this low quality of man and get low quality results, or you don't get any results at all. It actually makes your life worse. What we'll then see is that man, his attitude, his personality, his lack of drive and ambition brought out to the rest of the men that you've never even met. Men that are worthy, men that are the things that you're looking for, but you've had such a poor experience with this guy that all men are now like this. Let's finish this up.
And then turn around and had these two women fighting over this man with no income. Yeah, bro. We got a serious female loneliness epidemic.
I think some of his points, yeah, can definitely be can definitely be attacked, can definitely be refuted, like most things. But what what I what I will say is when we give women the credence to be the more social of the species, it would make sense that you would then, if you don't have a partner, feel lonely more. Same thing that with men. I think we've had to be comfortable being lonely for stretches in our life. For stretches in our life when we've pined over, we were desirous of women, of female companionship, but we weren't what they wanted. We weren't men yet. That didn't erase the loneliness. We just had to accept it. We had to work through that and say, yes, you're lonely. That's a normal part of life. One of the retorts that I hear is they'll look at nursing homes or end of life care facilities and they'll see how many women will get visitors versus men won't really have any visitors. And I think if that's a statistical difference and that's true, well, that's something that men have to kind of accept that depending how you lay out your life, you may end up alone. And to be honest, I think that's something we've accepted a long time ago. So the type of things, the type of moves we make now, it's with that idea that A, if I get to be that old, congratulations. That's a win in itself. B, if that happens, I've thought about it, I've accepted it. I'm rolling the dice that that may be the case. I don't know if that's something that women have done, and women, you can feel free to chime in here. But I think because you absolutely do need more of a community, do need more of that supportive environment, that this hits more. But the framework of the language is a male loneliness epidemic. And I'll leave with this saying, if the males that you're supposed to be with are lonely, stands to reason you're going to be lonely too. Just this is now just a statistical sort of math problem. Those are your husbands, so those are your boyfriends, those are the people you should do life with. They're alone. It would reason you're also going to be alone. But the conversation is never framed that way.